We'll call the meeting to order. In accordance with state statute section 84-1412, the Open Meetings Act is posted on the north wall in the council chambers for public information. Would you join me in the pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Debbie, would you do roll call, please?
Stokely. Penrose.
Here.
Swenson.
Here.
Boozy. Hugo.
Here. Okay, the consent agenda. City appointed boards and commissions, we have none. Fire and rescue departments, except memberships and resignations, we have none. Approval of minutes of the previous meeting. Treasurer's report. Claims, everybody get a chance to go through the claims. I just need a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion made by Tom, seconded by Gary. Cast your votes. Okay, now I will open the public hearing on the annexation of a tract of land located in the southeast quarter of the southeast quarter of section 22 and in the southwest corner of the southwest corner of section 23. T22 North, R6E of the 6 p.m. Cumming County, Nebraska, containing 2.12 acres, more or less. Rick and Kyle wrote that. Tom?
Yeah, this went before the Planning Commission last night. What it is Northern Natural Gas is wanting to relocate their border stations there. So that should move the one off of both of the units off Colfax Street, from what I understand. And they're providing access off of Sycamore Street, straight northeast in that corner. It's just a small tract, a little over 2 acres. It's a good advantage getting those units out of the city limits, so trying to get back on the edge of city limits where it's long. So since this is an annexation, we'll have to go through the 3 readings.
Yeah. Are there any comments from the public?
I did bring a copy of the survey. I wasn't sure if you guys had it. If you just want to pass it.
Yeah.
Do you want to pass it down?
Yeah.
You do have it. Okay.
Thank you. So if we don't have any public, any further discussion from the council? Make a motion to suspend. No. Okay.
No.
I gotta read those. So we got ordinance number
1447.
Ordinance number 1447. An ordinance to annex a part of the southeast corner of the southeast corner of section 22 and the southwest quarter of the southwest quarter of section 23, all in the township 22, north, range 6, east of the 6 p.m. Cumming County, Nebraska, as particularly described herein to be known and designated as Addition P, in addition to the city of West Point, Nebraska, Cumming County, to accept and approve the annexation plat, to accept the plat and dedication of the Addition P, in addition to the city of West Point, Cumming County, Nebraska, accepting the dedication of the street therein for public use, repealing all ordinances and parts of ordinance in conflict herewith, prescribing the time when this ordinance shall take effect and providing for publication of this ordinance in pamphlet form. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on its first reading?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Rusty, seconded by Mark. Cast your votes. Okay. Bids, we have one tonight, the levy bids.
Yeah, we received 5 bids on the levy project. The low bid at this time is A&R Construction for $3,398,651.82. Just for informational purposes, we do have grant money left. The city's obligation, once we have everything complete, will be about $1,814,000 is what we'll be looking to bond. And that also includes oversight on construction, construction services through the project. They are using The subs that they're using will be Bruce for the dirt work, Rutchins will do the piping, and Schmader will do the electric portion for the crossing, and then A&R will do the concrete work on top of the levee, so. The original engineer's estimate was 4.5 million. So it's a nice surprise to see it lower.
Any more discussion on this? Okay, Debbie, will you read the resolution, please?
City of West Point, Nebraska, Resolution 2024-15. Resolution accepting a bid for the construction of West Point Levee Improvement Project in the city of West Point, Nebraska.
The one thing I forgot to mention is they're looking at a start date of October with a completion date of September 30th of 2025.
Okay, now I need a motion to approve this resolution.
Make that motion.
Motion made by Mark,
Second.
seconded by Jerry. Cast your votes. Okay. Current business, discuss the specification and plans of the paving projects. John?
I'll just turn that right over to Leanne.
I handed out plans. The first portion, I believe you guys went over last month. So if anybody wasn't here and wants to go back over that, nothing really changed other than we made sure it's spelled out in the specs that the intersection up to Elkhorn Village, there's always one lane open. So we made sure that was specified in the specs. And then we have in there separating out the intersection of Park Street and Colfax Street as an addition to the bid. So that'll be bidding separately than the base bid. Then we added Sherman Street. That starts on sheet 5. That's the removal plan. Sheet 6 is the construction plan. We're matching the width of the street just east of Bruner Street at 26 feet wide, back of curb to back of curb. We are having to remove a lot of the driveways, pretty much all the way back to sidewalk, just to get stuff tied in better because of the change of grade on one side of the street to the other. We're doing this one as 6-inch paving rather than some of the other intersections were 8 and 7 because of subgrade. So we're keeping this one 6-inch. And we are going, looks like about 50 feet past or east of Beamer Street, just to take care of some of the broken up concrete that's there, to get rid of that. Sorry.
Yes. Would work for people. That asphalt road.
Yeah. Was it north? To you.
Yeah, we're going a little past the return going north on Beamer, but we're going further east also.
I'm sure.
Well, north goes to the end of the blacktop. Because we don't leave any blacktop in there. I sure don't.
I'm not sure what that measurement is, but
I'll leave it.
we can adjust that.
Going north?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't remember exactly where that blacktop ends, but I know it is.
About where the hill takes off,
Yeah.
goes down.
So we can have to.
Catch that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make note of that. So the revised estimate for just the base bid, that includes Sherman Street, we have is $600,000. And then the alternate, which is that intersection, is $65,000. We have a bid letting date of August 6th at 2 o'clock. And a completion date of August 1st, 2025. Some talkies with some contractors, they're pretty full and can't be sure to get it done early next year either, so we kind of extended it.
So there's Sherman Street, there's a couple sewers I might suggest to people to camera them and see if there'd be a time frame hopefully to.
We did camera them, John has looked at them, Rutchins looked at them, they cambered them for us. It all looked good, there was a small portion, and maybe that's what you're talking about.
Well, I'm talking about private lands from the
Oh,
houses
okay.
from the north side to the south side.
Sure,
I mean,
now we have time to do it.
there's a couple of them that we made one, and I know there's only like a couple, and I would suggest that people would take
Sure.
them ahead of time. It'd be a time to put it
Yeah,
in.
that's a good idea.
We were at night times as a kid.
Thanks. Any more discussion?
I just, my comment is, I looked at that intersection of Griffith and Church, and almost perfectly good. There's one little divot in the northeast corner that, you know, the bricks would be taken out, leveled out, but I would see no reason to take that out. My comment on that. So that's good as an extra.
Yeah, that's good.
But everybody take a look at that and see what they do.
Is there any other discussion on this? Debbie, will you read the resolution, please?
City of West Point, Nebraska, resolution number 2024-16. Resolution approving the plans and specifications prepared by Advanced Consulting Engineering Services and approving the publication of the advertisement for bids included in said plans and specifications.
Okay, I just need a motion to approve this resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Gary, seconded by Rusty. Cast your votes. Okay. Item 2, consider a lot split request of a tract of land located southeast quarter of the southeast quarter of section 25, tract 22N, R6E of the 6th PM, Cumming County, Nebraska. Chris Mandel is the applicant.
Yeah, what Chris wants to do is he's just adding on to his existing property. He already has access down to the road, that's that 33-foot egress easement. He owns the tract adjacent to that, he's wanting to add that 4 acres to it. Planning Commission did approve that last night also.
Discussion on this?
I don't see a problem with it.
I just need a motion authorizing the variance from the subdivision requirements and permit of the division of said tract into 2 parcels. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Rusty,
Second.
seconded by Tom. Cast your votes, please. Okay. Item 3, approval and adoption of a resolution proposing a resolution of necessity regarding the creation of a storm sewer district 2024 of the city relating to improvements to the city's storm sewer system in the amount not to exceed $2.5 million.
Yeah, this is for the levy project, putting the bond together. Andy's here with E.A. Davidson. Andy?
Yes, it seems like a little redundant to have a resolution proposing a resolution of necessity, but as part of the process, so we can issue general obligation bond. We're really giving public notice as well of the hearing that we'll need to have at your next meeting. And then at that time, we can approve the resolution of necessity, and then also we'll have a bond ordinance that we can adopt at that time. Yeah, we initially looked at doing this as public safety bonds, but I think I talked to bond counsel and we were able to fit it in this storm sewer bucket, which I think preserves your general fund levy and that public safety bond if you're ever to need it somewhere else. So I think this can work really well.
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
So, any discussion on this, or just need a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Gary, seconded by Tom. Cast your votes. Okay. Item 4, consider a request for operation of a pedal club, pedal therapy bike. Ben?
If I may, sir, yes. I'm going to start with an apology. I'm just getting over sinus infection, so I may cough a little bit. Second thing is I need to remember what my wife told me on the way here, to shut up. So I'm going to try and keep this brief. I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about who I am, where I'm from, and what I do. So my name is Ben Uzel, lifelong resident of Norfolk, raising a family there. I've got 4 kids, a wife, done everything in Norfolk. I'm very active in the community. I'm involved with Oktoberfest, that celebration downtown. I'm also kind of retired because I'm also vice president of Big Bang Boom and the shoot team lead. So along that, I've always built my life on service. I love serving the community that I live in. I love serving outside of the community I live in. I spent 8.5 years as a military police officer in the Army. I did a tour in Iraq and a tour in Afghanistan. So I built my life on service. The service I provide now is an entertainment service. It's known as a pedal pub. What it is, it's basically 10 pedal seats on the outside with a bar in the middle, and I have an additional 2-person bench on the back of it. So basically how that works is I am licensed through the state of Nebraska with a liquor license. It's a statewide liquor license. It also allows me to sell not only beer but liquor off of it. I am not currently operating that way. As of right now, it's just a BYOB, so it's bring your own beer. And basically what we do is we go to different towns where it's requested. I approach the city council, other active members in that community, see what the feedback is from them. Along that, I would just like to point out a little bit of a clarification. I do not need, on my side, approval from the city council to operate. What I do request is a blessing. I just want you guys to be aware of who I am, what I do. I'm also insured, so you guys don't have to worry about that. But I would rather, the thing my dad taught me was flies are more attracted to sugar than they are to vinegar. I'd rather work with people than against them. And so that's what I'm here, and I'm more than willing to answer any general questions that you guys may have.
Well, thank you for your service, first of all.
I appreciate that.
I've done these in Omaha before.
Okay.
They're fun. They're. Do you see this as like a people want to rent for a party or a bachelor party, or is it a rentable service?
It is.
Okay.
Yep. So generally speaking, it's generally just a group of people that want to get together and have a fun time.
Yep.
I've done bachelor parties. I've done bachelorette parties. I've done wedding parties. After the wedding, I've done birthday parties. The Nebraska Economic Development Association actually rented it from me for a few hours when they had their gathering up in Norfolk a while ago. I just got done in Hoskins. They were celebrating their Q125 while they had their car show downtown right before their fireworks show. It was running downtown. It's basically open to whatever kind of party you want to have on it.
Very good. The obvious questions. Noise complaints, things of that. How do you handle keeping the crew as best you can, right? I mean, hours of operation, stuff like that, just to alleviate people's concerns of, driving through a residential neighborhood at 2 in the morning,
Right.
at midnight, operating a mobile bar.
Yeah. So I follow all the city ordinances, whether there's your noise compliance times. I follow all of those. It is a slow-moving vehicle. I have to follow all motor vehicle rules, laws, and regulations with that as well. Having been a military police officer, I'm kind of a stickler with the rules. So if there are any complaints, I address them immediately and resolve the situation.
Sure. Very good.
Is there just one of these, or do you have a fleet of these that are working at one time?
Right now, I just have the one. I'm also the only one in Nebraska, according to the Liquor Control Commission, that is actually expanding, they call it their territory. I don't really like that word. It kind of sounds like we're in the West Side Story. But, so I'm the only one actually taking it out of my city of origination. So they were actually excited to hear about that.
But there is only one.
There is only one at this point.
What do
I'd
you
like
do?
to expand, but
What do you do about minors on there?
I do with parental consent. So if there is alcohol on the pedal pub, we card everybody. We also give them a wristband for that visual cue of who's old enough, who's not. So if they're over 18, under 21, I allow them on there when alcohol is on there. They are not allowed to consume. If they do consume, they're going to be immediately kicked off. If the riders are under the age of 18, I have a parental consent form on the waiver that's required to ride it as well. Does that answer that?
Yeah.
So if you have a child's birthday party, an adult is required along with whoever is operating the pedal pub, but I do allow minors on there with parental waiver.
Get right around here, Dr. Pepper.
We can, yeah.
Have you looked at routes through town of where you'd be taking it?
What I'd like to do is stick to the downtown area. My pedal pub has a good amount of torque, has absolutely no top speed. The average is about 3 to 4 miles an hour that it drives. I'm always weary of motor vehicles behind me, so if there's a clear place for me to pull over and allow them to pass, that's what I do. But I think your downtown area would be a phenomenal area for that to operate.
And then is there music playing at any time? Or?
Yeah, so I've got a larger Bluetooth speaker that the column occupants can Bluetooth to and play their music as long as it's clean and publicly appropriate.
50 feet or less
With,
from wherever the source is. If we can hear farther than 50 feet, that's against the city ordinance.
okay, thank you very much for pointing that out.
I guess my question for the traffic, or where you'd be doing it is, right, Main Street, you cross Highway 32 between farm equipment and trucks coming and going. It's just a safety concern more than anything. Be on that highway.
Yeah, I don't like going on highways. Norfolk's kind of different because downtown is technically Highway 275, but there's so many traffic control devices down there that,
And the speed slowing.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, it's not good for myself to operate it in irresponsible manner, and it's also not good for a community if I bring this to town for me to operate it in an irresponsible manner. It looks bad on both of us, and I do not want that.
My main concern is the traffic. That's a pretty slow-moving vehicle to be on city streets.
Anybody else? Any questions for me? Discussion? Ryan? You got any?
I would just assume on the traffic concern that Tom brought up, you guys probably mitigate that between certain hours. I mean, if you're not operating during rush hour.
Call it rush hour.
Yeah, our rush hour is usually on the highway, but
Right.
yeah.
So my main bookings are a 3-hour-long booking. On the weekends, I go 11 a.m., 3 p.m., 7 p.m. So I have an hour break between each one to restock and clean the pedal pubs. So we do operate during those times, but I'm always cognizant of vehicles around me.
Sure.
If somebody's irate behind me, I'll pull over and let them pass. There's no good way about that. And it's an issue in Norfolk, but people also realize it's an entertainment thing, and they may have to wait for one block, and they're very well receiving of it.
When because like Rusty, I've done it in Omaha. When you stop at like a restaurant or establishment, do you park outside of that location, or do you try and find an area where it's reasonable to not block?
top turn, situation dictates. Yeah. If there's ample parking and I'm not going to cause a disturbance right out front of the establishment, I'll do that. If it's going to be an issue, most of the people that ride it don't mind walking a block.
Sure. Because I will say, you do frequent quite a few establishments when you're on those, which Inkweight brings some revenue to those.
We only have the establishment, so.
Got a couple. Yeah.
Depending on the time of night, yeah, I got two.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But there are, I'll let you know, there are a few residents of West Point that are really interested in bringing me to town. And I'm working with them. One of their topics that they brought up was coming here and discussing it with you guys, just to get clarification on what I do.
Sure.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nothing we can really do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I really do appreciate you being very
Yeah.
transparent.
Yeah.
And that's pretty stand up, so I appreciate that.
I would, well, and proof in the pudding right here, I was unaware of your 50-foot sound ordinance.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things, like I said, I would rather work with you guys than against you. So and I'm not going to work against you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you very much.
Thanks for
You bet.
coming. Item 5, discuss vacating right of way.
Yeah, we had this on the agenda last month, kind of defined whether or not there are any utilities in there or not. I'm still thinking we need to be around the $8,000 mark. You know, by the time we covered the survey costs and everything to survey that piece of property out and offer it up for sale. I don't know if you guys chance to talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, that part is what it is.
Yeah.
But I think from everything else they're looking for, I think that works. So the size and the little bit. So.
Yeah, I just would be reluctant to vacate that entire property because that drainage line that goes through there.
You're just figuring the east half or the west half.
The west
West
half.
half.
Yeah. And just for the length of their property, there's a little sliver back there that's under different ownership, so it's just.
And meets up with that other street.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I just need a motion and a second to move forward with it if you want to
Make a motion.
prepare, documents and stuff for the sale.
I'll second that.
Okay, Rusty made the motion, Ryan seconded to move ahead with this. Okay, item 6, Sunshine Senior Center, accept the 2025 Title 3B, Title 3C, Title 3E service contracts with Northeast Nebraska Area of Agency in Aging.
This is just a manual exercise
Yeah.
to approve those agreements.
So we just need a motion to accept the contracts with Northeast Nebraska area.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Rusty. 2 seconds. Tom? Cast your votes. Item 7, Chamber of Commerce Economic Development Quarterly Report. Tina.
Good evening, council. You have my report in front of you. I won't bore you too much with the details unless you have questions, but the only thing I kind of want to know, which I added this time just because there are some commercial properties and some movement happening, and I'm sure you're all aware of these, but just kind of sometimes it's nice to have them in list order. With TC Home Furnishings, there are still some interested parties, but nothing's been sold there yet. Obviously, it's now made public that Cultivate Chiropractic, that building's available for rent, as is obviously their lot that they own next to West Point News. So hopefully we can get something developed there. Flower and Gift Gallery has under the radar been for sale for a few years, and I finally said, Marilyn, you gotta go public. So she finally did, and she had a couple of interested parties, but again, nothing signed on the dotted lines yet. Karen Palmer with finishing the Lana A Boutique, building the backside, the front side also. There's about 1,200 square feet. There's a couple interested parties, but if you know something, again, nothing signed on the dotted line. And affordable computer repair. Sometimes people forget that that's out there, and I recommend it quite a bit. It's not as ideal for walk-in traffic as some of our Main Street locations, but the rent is probably more affordable out there than some. So I always think for a startup business, it would be a good place to at least get into to have an actual brick and mortar place. So those are kind of the rundown of some of the things. There's obviously some properties that aren't public and some other businesses looking at some succession plans and whatnot. But is there anything on that report that you had any questions on? I'd be happy to answer in regards to economic development or anything else. Working closely, this isn't related to economic development, but working closely with Jerry right now for the 4th of July. The weather has everybody on edge, all of our vendors, people wanting to attend and whatnot. So just so that you know, we'll make sure we put things on Facebook and work with the radio station and whatnot to let the public know and we know what's going to happen. So, right, Jerry?
Yeah.
Anybody change the forecast yet?
No, we've been watching the hourly, trying to get that to come out. But I think Jerry and I kind of discussed if the rain, and not officially, but if the rain and winds or whatever would stop around 2 o'clock, I think we could move forward, no problem. But if it's more 4 or 5 o'clock, that's going to be really tough because a lot of people will wait to come down. They might come down and see the fireworks, but then the vendors and the inflatables are probably obsolete at that point because people will stay home up until that point. So there's really a lot to look into. And for you guys, you need to be able to set the fireworks up, and you need a good 6+ hours to get everything in place.
It goes faster every year, so
What you can do in that short time.
yeah, it's, well, there's a lot of prep work before that.
Right.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we have.
And we're looking at maybe doing the Quilts of Valor under the portico. That was just a phone call I just got off of. The fun run would like to push through, but it looks like at 7, 8 o'clock. But if it's misting, I think Delena's going to move forward. So again, we'll just try and keep everybody up to date as much as we can. So we appreciate your support, and if you ever need anything, please be sure to send people our way.
Fireworks show is covered financially, no problem again, so.
Fantastic.
Yeah, good work to Jerry and Cindy and the city for leading those charges, so thank you. Anything else?
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you. So we're just requesting our funding continue, so thanks so much.
Yeah, just need a motion to accept the report and approve the payment of $5,000 for services April, May, and June 2024.
Second that motion.
Motion made by Rusty, seconded by Brian. Okay, item 8, discuss allowing use of golf carts within the corporate limits.
This was a question Brian had at the last meeting, and I grabbed a piece of legislation and surrounds that. Take a look at it, see what you think, where you want to go next. I know Chief Adams has some concerns and questions.
From my standpoint, I don't see them as a safe vehicle. They're not built for road travel. They're not like the UTVs where it's got a cage, seat belts. They don't accelerate with a darn for crossing the highway. That'd be the main purpose, to get them somewhere in town or even on the highway, a slow moving vehicle. They'd be worse than what he's trying to do, in all honesty. They'd be parking in the stalls and people would be running into them. It's just, but from a safety standpoint, to have someone in that, they're not protected from a car, let alone whatever else moves through here. I don't think it's a good idea, but that's just one opinion. But the UTVs have questioned how safe they are at times.
Right.
You know, they cross.
That's one of the seatbelts, they don't have, how do they manage that? I'm like,
Yeah,
and I've seen like smaller villages do that.
yeah, because they don't have major intersections going through the town. So where they need to be, it's all close by there. That would work.
My only other concern was the speed too. The average speed of a stock gas golf cart is about 12 miles an hour top.
Right, and that's going to impede any traffic anywhere. So
So that would be my only-
that would be more complaints for everybody in general. So I don't know that there's a need for it, in all honesty. I really don't. There's
You ever written a ticket for someone driving a golf cart around?
no one ever tried.
No, Rusty, here you
I was
go.
gonna say.
Give it a shot. and see.
Yeah, Rusty.
How often would they put a green?
What's that?
Often we put it in. Every 3 blocks.
Right, see if they get out. The UTV, ATVs, you're looking at only 70 of them registering a year, and about a third of them is from out in the county because they want to come in and shop or do what they want. So it's not like, it's not a necessity either around this town. If we were more of a retirement community.
Do you have any issues with compliance with the UTV rules?
I was just going to ask that too. Are you getting any? Have they stopped anyone for not having the tags on the UTVs?
No, most everybody comes in. We have a few that haven't came in to re-register this year, but we're not seeing them.
Right.
The issue that has popped up recently is for whatever reason, some do want to try the highway for a block or two.
Yeah.
We're hearing that afterwards. We catch them, we'll take them. I'm not going to fall on a break on that. That's just not safe.
Right.
But, no, everybody keeps them registered and they're following the rules with the age group and all that. So, but like I said, I don't personally see the need for having a golf cart. It's not safe, and for the few that would, if we have enough joyride, we have other people that'll deliver what they need. I'm not sure the reason for this.
Thanks, John.
Good discussion.
So what do you want to do?
I said I would just bring it up. Open to the discussion. Personally, I'm fine either way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you want to just let it ride and see if you get more public input, or
I don't know if you need to.
do you want to just call it good?
We'll just go.
really see a need at this point.
Tom was going to buy one, but
Yeah.
I don't think he. Did you end up doing that?
What kind of trouble you been in?
He wanted that for all.
Can't drive no way over.
When I hear the name Tom here, it usually is Tim. No, I'm not in favor of it if you want to know.
There you go.
Okay. On to the next one. Approval of the council affiliated claim of Hugel Plumbing and Heating for services and supplies.
You make a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Motion made by Rusty, seconded by Mark.
Why?
Okay. Scheduled budget workshop, 2024-2025.
We're looking at going with July 24th at 5:30. This is off Tuesday.
My wedding anniversary, but we have to move. Never had.
That actually.
You said the 24th, Tom?
Yeah.
5:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think I'll have everything ready by then.
I got it. Got another choice.
Motion to set that date.
Just need a motion to set the date.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Aaron. Brian. Tom?
I second. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was on.
Item 4, ordinance adopting the pay plan for employees of the city.
Yeah, we've started doing this in July. The adjusted pay ordinance is for a 2.5% increase. Considering what we've done the last couple of years, I think we're getting close, and that's the recommendation for this year.
It's crazy when we look at this a few years ago, and how so far low we have been.
Yeah.
Then you had inflation and everything post-COVID, but
Right.
we're just trying to get anyone in some of these positions when private enterprise is paying so much more. So it's been a good, you know, thing to get these closer to where they need to be.
Okay, any more discussion? Then Debbie, read the ordinance, please.
City of West Point, Nebraska, ordinance number 1448, an ordinance of the City of West Point, Nebraska, adopting a pay plan for certain officers and all employees, repealing ordinance number 1426, and all other motions, resolutions, and ordinance in conflict with this ordinance, prescribing the time when this ordinance shall be in force and take effect, and to provide for the publication of this ordinance in pamphlet form.
The motion to introduce and suspend the 3 readings. Motion made by Mark.
Second.
Seconded by Rusty. Cast your votes, please. Motion carried. Now I need a motion for final passage.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Rusty.
Second.
Seconded by Tom. Okay. Got resolution number 2024-17 to approve the application payment number 20 to an amount of $175,058.39 to Christensen Construction Company for the West Point Aquatic Center project.
Is this the final retainage payment?
This would be the final retainage payment,
Is
yes.
there anything outstanding?
There's some, what I would consider warranty work that they have to do. Sidewalk replacement, there's a section there that, Jerry noted is a little bit low. Equipment wise, I think you got all the bus work out, everything seems to be working as designed and as it should. And they're still responsible for the warranty period on that thing, so through next year, along with going in and winterizing it this fall. Talked to Brittany last week, and she said other than, the question of the slippery diving boards, that's a little different.
Do they ever resolve that?
No, I don't think they have. I think some of it has to do with how the diving boards would be used in conjunction with.
So that fall under warranty, right?
Yeah. They're running. I've heard that they're running. A couple of the kids misstepped. They actually, Brittany had a video of one of the kids misstepping and falling off.
Yep.
Whatever the assumption was, it's because of the board and this kind of thing. So, but we're going to continue to watch it. I think we need to get past this, and then maybe, our old boards were coded a little differently. We might come back and look at.
Like I say, I think there's a
make it perfect.
the grid tape that.
Yeah.
Does that void the warranty of the board if we do that?
If we do it now, it would.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do worry with how slick they are, with the higher ones, even if you're not trying to mess around under and have a little more.
I had no issue going off the board.
Belly fluff.
But, Gainer. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
I can imagine you're doing a swan dive.
Oh man, sweet.
Okay, Ryan, I need a motion to pass this resolution.
Make that motion.
Motion made by Ryan, seconded by Rusty. Cast your votes. Okay. Then I got one more. Ordinance number 1446, verbiage correction. Additional language included in the ordinance accepting the plat and dedication of the replat of Lot 24, Lanes 275 subdivision to the City of West Point, Cumming County, Nebraska, lots 25R, 26R, and the replat of lots 12, 13, 22, and 23 of the Lanes 275 subdivision to the City of West Point, Cumming County, Nebraska. Motion to approve the verbiage correction.
And basically, that's all it is a verbiage correction based upon how they recorded it at the courthouse. So they wanted to see something a little bit different, and not a problem.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mark. Seconded by Rusty. Cast your votes, please. Okay. Reports. I don't have anything.
I just have a couple things. Next month, we'll have the TIF project coming our way. That's going to be for ASC lockers. We're going to be doing an expansion, so that'll be in front of you. The family's still discussing the property issue for the cemetery. touch base with them today. And last conversation was when he asked me in to talk to the Grandier, the Eagles, didn't have any feedback on that guy. So, and this will. Good. No? Okay. Bruce and I have been meeting with the rec center group. They're getting ready to start moving forward with this project. We're looking at funding sources. Been talking to Andy stepped out here already, but so that could be a pretty good fun project we're working on.
I thought AC lighting was going to be one of the big.
I thought so too. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't some helicopter out there.
That's all.
You put a helipad over there, yeah. Does the delay with the Eagles, does that cause any, I mean, because we've got to go get, there's funding obviously that we're going for.
Right, and that's one of the things that Andy kind of alluded to, getting away from the public safety funds where we're doing the levy.
Right.
Where we were able to put them in the storm sewer that frees up the future funding for that project.
Okay.
I think so.
Mark?
Can't think of it.
Jerry?
I just want to compliment John Adams. I had a meeting last night, we got thanks to the firemen. He came and did a great presentation that reminded us that we need to be careful on the streets and do a good job.
Thank you, Jim.
Appreciate that. Well, I keep saying I'll make a list for Tom. I brought him a short list today, or yesterday, whatever it was. Three projects, little projects, and some of these I just feel that, I told some of the city employees, they're hiding in the city. They're out on the streets all the time, and I think when there's a yield sign, you can't see it, the tree branch is covered, somebody, we need to notice that. And so that's what I got on things. It's a long short list. I don't have any much time left to get things done.
Rusty?
It's okay to see Jerry shoot fireworks out.
Oh, I did see they got them 2 sections east of the school back.
Tom? Ryan?
Just as Jerry said, just there's obviously stuff going on in the city, but if we can continue to look for those potholes with all the water that's, yeah, yeah. It's just,
Now that's swimming pool, Tom, I think that's actually getting bigger with putting it out there.
yeah,
It is.
it is. No, they're not.
I've taken
Yeah.
about 50 pictures of the ones in our shop.
Yeah, I just know, I mean, obviously moisture causes.
They show up quicker, don't they?
They do, yeah, yep. Other than that, Jerry's got a makeup date in case Mother Nature doesn't, right? Friday,
Yeah, I gotta work for that tonight.
yeah.
Oh, actually, it's been pretty high.
Has it really?
Yeah, we've actually been selling quite a bit of kind of cold water this year.
I ran my sprinklers up, I'll be back.
Is that still set at 25,000 gallons a day?
No, it's whatever they need.
Whatever they need.
Yeah, we really don't, whatever
Whatever
it
else,
is.
25,000.
Great time to sell it.
We will shut them off if we start.
Sorry.
But I've never known there was a cap on it here.
That's good stuff. Was that up here before you came? Is what it was?
Yeah.
He just put the tanks in wrong.
I climbed to the top was. I climbed the top was there was 5 foot of ice in that when the rural water district is accusing it of sending the slush. Yeah. And if that wasn't a problem, their water line was too shallow.
Okay, just need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Motion made by Tom, seconded by Rusty. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Funny thing, my pager battery had been dying, and so didn't even know what happened. And I went into our office yesterday, tried track down the guy that's responsible for the pages.
I can tell,